Hi, and welcome to Return to Israel. I'm Anthony, and I'm here in Osvik, Guyane, with two very special people that I'd like to introduce to you. It's Yehudit Katsover and Nadia Matar. And they are the two leading women that started Women in Green many years ago. But from there, it moved on into the Ribbanut, or sovereignty movement, of which we as Christians really should be supporting. And so I'm here to introduce you, and also to have them to explain to you a little bit about what Ribbanut and Women in Green is all about, and then also to speak about why you and I as Christians should be supporting this movement of sovereignty here in Israel. So, tell me about...
Shalom, Anthony.
Shalom, Nadia. Shalom, Yehudit.
Shalom, Anthony.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started.
Yehudit started already straight after the 6-Day War, together with her husband. She was part of the pioneers, I call them the heroes, who understood that after the 6-Day War, when we all of a sudden, God gave us this victory of liberating Judea, Samaria, Jerusalem. It was amazing.
Totally.
The government of Israel there was no plan. They didn't exactly know what should we do with this incredible victory. All of a sudden, all those lands were reopened to Jewish life. Jews returned after 19 years of not being here. For thousands of years, of course, we had been here. Abraham, this is biblical land, but they didn't know what to do exactly. And so they said, let's put everything on hold. Let's create this civil administration that will administer the areas till we decide what we should do here. Meanwhile, some people said, what do you mean, what should we do? People like Rabbi Levinger and people like Rabbi Hanan Porat and other people who, lovers of Israel, said we have to come back, return to Judea and Samaria and renew Jewish life there.
This is your land,
and
yes.
That is when Rabbi Hanan Porat went and resettled the Kfar Etzion kibbutz, and of course Rabbi Levinger went to Hebron, and it's too long a story to tell now, maybe one day we'll meet in Hebron. But Yehudit Katsover and her husband Tzvi were among those pioneers who heard the call and left Dimona. They were teachers there and left Dimona and said, sometimes in life, if you want to be part of history, you can't stay in your kitchen and say, well, somebody should do something about it. They packed up and went when there were barely only tens of people. And to make a long story short, they were part of those who, thanks to them, this whole group who was called Gush Emunim and the activists there, thanks to them, today we have 500,000 Jewish residents in Judea and Samaria. You know, we are being called settlers. The word settler in Hebrew is fantastic. Mitnachel. That means mitnachel in Hebrew means the word in nachala means heritage. The real translation of what we are, all of us here, is inheritors of the land.
That's what you are.
Exactly. But the word settlers maybe has a bad, negative. But we call the residents of Judea and Samaria. I had the privilege of meeting Yehudit in 2005 when we were trying to prevent the expulsion from the Gaza Strip.
Right. That was moving Jews out of a community.
Yes, I was part of an organization called Women in Green that we founded a couple of years before in '93 to oppose the Oslo agreements, who basically brought here the mass murderer Yasser Arafat and gave him large parts of Judea and Samaria, unfortunately. And we were part of the people of Israel who opposed this. And we met in Gush Katif, and after Gush Katif, we decided that if we did not succeed in safeguarding and the Gush Katif, that means that we didn't work hard enough. And now Judea and Samaria is next, God forbid. And what can we do to make sure that Judea and Samaria will stay in our hands? And together with our members, of course, and this is the time to say we don't act alone. We have so many partners and so many friends and so many supporters, and the list is very long, and maybe one day we'll have time to give it to all. We started having local battles in this area, right here, to safeguard different areas that we saw that the Arabs were just taking over in Area C. I assume that your viewers already know that Judea and Samaria is divided in A, B, and C since the Oslo Agreement. Area A and B is officially, according to Oslo, under the PA, the Palestinian Authority, and Area C, which is 60% of Judea and Samaria, is supposed to be, according to the Oslo Agreements, under Israeli control. And in Area C, we started seeing after 2005 how the Arabs, funded with billions of dollars by Oxfam and USAID and others, were taking over areas. Even according to the Oslo agreements, they weren't allowed to do so.
They were infringing on it. That's
exactly.
Right.
And that's when we started being active. And again, it's a long story. We're not going to go into details, but we were very active and even successful. We can say a hill here and an army base there that we managed to redeem. But it was long battles for years. It was crazy. For every time we battled for a little hill here and there, till Yehudit in 2011 says, this is not how we're going to save Judea and Samaria.
No, not
by another tree. It's all very important. But while we saved, maybe managed to redeem a little hill here and a little army base there, look at the Arabs took over with their funding so many more areas. We need to change direction. We need to add something. Our camp, the national camp, the Office of Israel, we are wonderful for doing two things. We are great at building new communities, which we did, thank God, 500,000 Jews in Judea and Samaria. And we are great at saying no. No to the Oslo agreements, no to give them weapons, no to release murderers, no. And Yehudit said rightfully, you can't go around saying no all the time. What is our yes? What do you want? What is the plan of the national camp? And that is when Yehudit said we should promote sovereignty. We were not the first ones to talk about it. There are wonderful people before that who for years have been doing it, whether it's Uri Elitzur of blessed memory, or Caroline Glick, may she have a long life, and Mike Weiss, and again, a long list of people, and Rabbi Ben Yelon, and a long list of people who have been promoting, among other things they were doing, also sovereignty. But Yehudit said, that is her way of thinking, and I think that's what one of the big successes is, that when you decide on a project, you focus only on that.
Right.
And let's turn this into a campaign. Let's turn the word sovereignty into our flag. The left has their plan that they're promoting, which we believe is a tragedy and suicide, the two-state solution.
That's the left here in Israel, isn't it?
Yes, the left here in Israel claim that we should leave Judea and Samaria and create a Palestinian state here, and that will bring peace. We saw that doesn't work at all. We
can't
saw
work. It's contrary to God's word.
It's exactly, it's against God's word. And we saw what happened in Gush Katif, in the Gaza Strip. Before the Gaza Strip was evacuated, we were demonstrating, and people saying, you are warmongers, you are hysterical, there will be peace. Why are you saying that there will be rockets, and why do you say there will be missiles, and why do you say that PA will take over and we trust them? And we know that Hamas took over within a few days, and look what happened. Yeah. And luckily the majority of the Jewish people, if at the very beginning of the Oslo agreements we were representing a minority, the elections prove over the years that the voice of Zionism, the voice of loyalty to the land, the voice of the land of Israel became the majority of the Jewish people. And basically, in 2011 we started the sovereignty campaign, whether it's with conferences and with parlor meetings and with meeting with Knesset members, and then we had a big conference, and again with the support of so many people, we cannot forget to always thank everybody. We're thanking everybody who's on our side, and our partners and our supporters, and there's a special person we want to thank, and his name is Sam Solomon, and he's we had the privilege of meeting him, I think, in 2013, if I'm not mistaken, and he's one of the pillars of this organization also, and without whom really we wouldn't have grown into what we are now. And we were busy with sovereignty and growing a little bit, and then 2014, the kidnapping of 3 boys happened in the summer.
And where did that happen?
After 18, it was right here. We're standing right here, 500 meters from where it happened. We are now in the heart of Judea, between Jerusalem and Hebron, on the top of the main road, Road 60, between Jerusalem, which is north of us, and Hebron and Beersheba, south of us.
So we're on a bit of a hilltop here for people to get an idea.
Of the Etzion block.
Etzion block, and
yes.
What is this specific place called?
So after we are in the whole area is called Gush Etzion.
Gush Etzion, but where we're sitting now.
Yes, we are now in Oz V'Gaon. After 18 days of looking and searching for those boys, unfortunately they were found murdered not far from here. That's when Yehudit called me and says, you heard the news? they were murdered, we have to give a Zionist response. We can't just go on with our sovereignty conferences as if something didn't happen. Sometimes you have to continue the local battles also, and we have to show the world, we have to show God, we have to show ourselves, and we have to show the enemy that if they think that with Arab terror they will get what they want, what do they want? That we leave this land.
That's all. They are not interested in peace.
We have to show them that we are going to even grow deeper roots in this land.
Right.
And we came up here. Briefly, this place was basically, even though on the map it was meant to be some kind of Israeli tourism center, we are on the place where it's Israeli state land. No Arab claim any part of this entire forest and adjacent hill. Despite that, despite there being even zoning agreements already for this area, nothing was done. And Anthony, you know, if you don't take what is yours, and there's no vacuum, somebody else will come in, somebody will take over. And the Arabs of the area took over this whole forest and turned it into a place where they can do what they can do in their village, a place for drugs, alcohol, prostitution, and mainly garbage. This entire and Arab shepherds. This was an area that the Jews, even though we knew that this was supposed to be in Jewish hands and developed already, Jews did not come here for years. We were not the first one who succeeded. Other people, again, we succeeded because sometimes there's a tipping point in history and you succeed. But we have to mention those who tried before us, whether it's the field school of Kfar Etzion, whether it's the Jews from Migdal Oz who tried to renew the Jewish presence here. They didn't succeed, but they tried. And sometimes something happens in history that you succeed, not because you're so great, but because something happened, and something is the terrible murder of those 3 boys. And to make a long story short, we came up here with all our members and our friends and supporters, and from a hill that was completely garbage, and we found syringes. There was nothing. Whatever you can see here, maybe afterwards you'll see a few pictures of the place here. We turned it into a place that says Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai means the people of Israel are alive and kicking and well, and this is our land, and we're not ashamed to say so, and we're proud to be here, and we will continue to be here forever and ever. We have groups of youth coming here. We tell them to put their cell phones on the side, to take a few tools, to connect them to the land. Anybody who doesn't have blisters can get out before they get a few blisters and feel the land. And we called it Oz V'Gaon. Oz V'Gaon is, Oz means strength, because we are close to the Oz hill where the remnants of the biblical village of Migdal Eder is there. When you read about Migdal Eder in the Bible, then it was right there on top of that hill, and Migdal Oz is there too. So we said we call it Oz, but how do you commemorate the boys? You have to have a name that commemorates it. Gilad, Eyal, and Naphtali are the 3 names. We took the acronym Gaon, and it means, Oz means strength, Gaon means pride, the preserve of strength and Jewish strength and pride. Parallel to being here, and again thanks to so many of our people who help us being here. You see the signs everywhere. This place, look at this, we're sitting on a bench. You have names. It's the people of Israel and the lovers of Israel who are basically helping us. We are just conduits to help to safeguard this place. But this is Mikro. The macro is sovereignty, and I think I explained the big picture sovereignty. And sovereignty means basically Israeli sovereignty with a Jewish majority in the land of Israel, with a non-Jewish minority that is respectful and that is loyal to the state of Israel. That is sovereignty. And sovereignty means to apply Israeli law over Judea and Samaria, because I'm going back to what I said in the beginning, and this I will end. At the very beginning, in 1967, when the government of Israel didn't know exactly what to do with those areas, and they did civil administration, they should have applied Israeli law and basically included Judea and Samaria as part of Ra'anana, Beersheba, etc.
50, 70 years ago.
Until today, it didn't happen. Therefore, what is the status, because of the legal status of Judea and Samaria being different than Tel Aviv and Ra'anana and other areas in Israel, the Jews who live here have a different status than the Jews in Tel Aviv, and
that's
therefore
what many people don't understand.
Exactly. Many people don't know that we who live here have a different status than the Jews in Tel Aviv.
You're actually discriminated against compared to the Jews that live in Tel Aviv or other big cities.
Absolutely, and therefore, to apply Israeli law and to apply sovereignty, the word annex is a incorrect word. We're not annexing. Annexing it gives you a feeling as if you're taking land that's not yours. We don't need to annex because it's already ours.
God gave it to you. It's yours.
It's ours. You are here where King David walked. You are here where all of Jewish history. I happen to have earrings that my mother-in-law Ruth Matar, who founded Women in Green, did with ancient Jewish coins. You can dig as much as you want in Tel Aviv. You're not going to find ancient Jewish coins, but you find it's right here in the hills of Jerusalem, Hebron, Shiloh, Bet El. This is historical Israel, and people don't give away their heartland. You don't give away your heart because you cannot live only with your arm and a leg. You have to live with the heart and the soul. And the heart and the soul is Judea and Samaria.
Yes.
And we are thankful that we have such wonderful partners like you guys who basically understand that too, and who together we will work so that sovereignty will be not only will be talked about, but will be applied. And we're very happy that even our Prime Minister, Bibi Netanyahu, before the elections, already started talking about sovereignty, which shows that we have achieved already a little bit of the long way we have.
It's moving forward.
Yes,
and,
it's moving
with the God that,
and today, as Yehudit says, it is already part of the talks for the formation of the government.
Right, we've seen that in the news. And
Yes.
would the God that there would be a greater majority that would recognize and rise to seeing sovereignty implemented over all of Israel, which it should be. And that's why we realize too that it's a fight. You're in a battle. You've got the left that doesn't want to respect that. And even though there's a significant percentage of Jews that are in favor of sovereignty, you're not able to make it alone. And that's why you need Christian friends, lovers of Israel, that respect the Word of God to help you in this situation.
Especially because you so well understand that it is not only something that Israel needs, but it's something that America needs. It's something in order to keep the forces of the Western world alive, and it's something that the world needs.
That's how redemption is going to come. Now, we're here in Osvegion, and you've turned this once garbage dump into a beautiful park. And I know you receive tours here, and when we do tours, this is one place that people should really come to. And we want to bring people here to Osvegion to see a transformation which really embodies the people of Israel. The Jewish people with that indomitable spirit that will not surrender, will not give up what God has given them. And that's why coming to Osvegion is an experience that is biblical. You are living the Word of God by seeing things firsthand here. And so hopefully one of these days we'll be able to bring a tour of people to Osvegion, and you can show them firsthand what's taking place here.
And absolutely. We hope that with time there will be hotels here, and there will be places for you to actually even also stay, so that this will grow into a big place.
Yes, that would be wonderful. I even heard on the news today that the Israeli government is wanting to promote hotels and sponsor that with donations and tax-free benefits and so forth.
Absolutely.
So with the God that maybe happens.
Absolutely. We have the Zionist Boulevard here, where you have Zionist sayings of different leaders. So absolutely, we call upon all of you to come and visit and have a biblical experience of touching the land of Israel, where our forefathers basically walked, and where when you read the Bible, right here.
Right here.
Absolutely.